Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Racing to the Fullest ACF1 1997 League, Season 1, Round 3 at the Mugello International Circuit. I am your humble commentator, Mr. Deathlink. How is everyone doing? Do I sound robotic? If I do sound robotic, I will try and fix that shortly. My microphone shouldn't be playing up, but if it is, I will do my best to fix it. Don't know why it's doing that. Just let me know if it sounds better. If not, I will do my best to fix the robotic sounding of my microphone. Just let me know in chat if it sounds better or if it sounds worse. I don't know why it's doing that. I did test this morning and it was absolutely fine. Oh, piss. Fuzzy? Sounds fuzzy. Maybe I don't know. Does that sound better? I don't know. I don't know why it's doing that. Still found sound fuzzy? Still sounds fuzzy. Oh, fuck. Maybe it's better now. I'm not entirely sure. If it is better now, let me know. If it's not, I will still do my best, but I've done everything I can. Is it better now? I sound better. I just had to blow into the thing and fix it. Good. Right. Let's do that intro again. I am definitely Ted. I'm your commentator. Welcome to ACF1 1997 League. This is the bit Edging can cut out for the video. Welcome back. So I will quickly run you through everything that happened last Friday, if you weren't here. And then we'll actually get into some racing. So we're racing at Mugello today. Everyone is jumping into the session. We have 16 drivers driving today in ACF1, and that is a lot of drivers. We had a bit of chaos last time out in Korea. If you didn't see Korea, there's two ways you can watch Korea. Either you can go back in time and watch it, or you can go onto the Racing to the Fullest YouTube channel and watch it on there. And it's a decent race. Safety cars, crashes, red flags, all the chaos, but at the end of the day, it was still a nice wheel-to-wheel race. And today, we have a track that people have been practicing loads, people have been really looking forward to. It's Mugello in Italy, and it's a brilliant circuit. Uh, 15 corners. We've raced here once, raced here in 2020 during the year of the pandemic, if you all remember that correctly. That was quite the year. And it was won by none other Lewis Hamilton, and also gave Alexander Albon his first podium in Formula One. So 16 drivers. Last time's race winner, if I can remember last time's race winner, it was. It hasn't been updated. No, someone's not updated the bloody ACF1 standings. Who didn't do that? It's whoever's fault that is. It wasn't Edgin because Edgin ran out of fuel. Yeah, so blame who haven't updated the ACF1 standings, but that's not my fault. So I can't tell you what happened. I'm trying to remember from memory. Nothing's coming to mind. But you don't I don't have to tell you from memory because you can go watch it. So we just have a 4-minute practice session going on at the moment. I'll show this on screen very shortly to show everyone just the quick practice session around not Malaysia, Mugello. So let's jump into the racing or into the practice session. If people can see it working, let me know. If people can't see it working, let me know. But it should be online now, and we're on board with Raid. And go to my favorite onboard camera, which is this one. So Mugello, 15 corners around Mugello, very top speed and very flowing circuit. One of my favorites to actually watch. I genuinely love this circuit, and I wish we had raced here more. I think it deserved to have more racing on it. We're going to be looking in sort of the 120s, I imagine, for pole position. So these are just sort of practice times to allow everyone a bit of time because a new rule has come in for ACF1 after last week's Carnage Fest in Korea. We have decided to make a new rule that everyone that drives in the ACF1 will have to at least do 15 laps of practice around the circuit to manufacture greater racing and a greater spectacle for people watching. It just makes it for cleaner racing, makes it better for me to watch and commentate, makes better watch for all of you watching as well. And I think around Mugello, first of all, qualifying should be great. These cars going flat out around this circuit is brilliant. And I think racing wise, going to see some good racing because also this week we had the BTCC League, which was brilliant. We raced at two circuits, then being Donington and Watkins Glen. Brilliant racing at both those circuits. So I expect the same amount, but also more drivers today. 16 drivers in ACF1, and we are just still waiting on a few stragglers to join the crew. We should have 16 drivers, only 12 currently in the practice session. But first, we're into the 119s already, so maybe we're going to be into the 119s for pole position with Igor 119.5 there, followed by Jacob Snacks in second and Raid. So if you remember, Jacob won in Malaysia the first round, so he's looking to gain some ground back on some people. EMP also competed. I think he's meant to be on the grid. Yes, he is on the grid tonight, so hopefully he'll be joining shortly. We've got Scrub back as well and a few others. Scrub Vlad is back racing. He wasn't sure if he was going to get in due to uh, issues with connection, but he got in. Edgin is back racing, hopefully trying not to run out of fuel this weekend. Striker, a boy, a new competitor racing in the Stewart. Unable to drive on Fridays, but was free tonight and decided to give it a nice go. So he's getting his practice in at the moment. Raid, another one that's been very competitive in this. Uh, Ollie as well, I think has been racing properly, been nice as well. And James Wardley, another one who's joining in, who was winning quite a lot, well, finished on the podium in the BTCC. So it's going to be a good fun race this afternoon. A minute left of the practice session, just allowing for people still to jump in and join. People to get their last minute practice laps in. And then we'll be heading off on if I remember correctly, we have a 18-minute qualifying session and a 34-lap race. Safety cars, red flags, that all can happen. So there's going to be, I'm sure, a bit of chaos coming around. So still only 12 drivers in the lobby. I think we are still meant to be expecting 16. Someone will give me an update on that. I'm sure it'll be Edgin once he's finished doing his drive. Striker goes into the top 4 there in the practice session. So these drivers do get all week to practice as well. It's not just today. The server to practice is up open all week long. From the minute the final race ends in Korea, it will go straight back onto the next race. So we got this new thing as well, new mod installed where it puts a stupid flag in the middle of my screen. Really love how it does that. No way of me moving it at all. So that's a lot of fun to have in the middle of my screen. I do apologize for everyone. Striker just doing a final flying lap. And also staying tuned for this week in Racing to the Verse, we have our Tier 2 race tomorrow, and then we have Tier 1 on Sunday. We're racing in the home of British Motorsport at the British Grand Prix, so that will be fun to watch at Silverstone. As Striker's going to be finishing his lap shortly, comes across the line to do a 1:22.9. I think Scrub is also just doing a lap as well, but nothing not competitive by the looks of the timing sheet as he pulls into the pits. So we're fading to black here, and we're heading hopefully into qualifying. We're on board with not with myself apparently, as I just am in a spectate car, but that's not matter. So let's have a look at the practice results there. We got Igor with a 1:19.5, Jacob with a 1:19.6, and then a further back is I think it's Andrew J. I'm just gonna say Andrew J. With 1:24, Raid 1:21.2, Striker 1:22.4, 1:22.6 for Scrub, 1:22.7 for Edgin, 1:23.1 for Dorv, Vlad with a 1:23.6, Ollie with a 1:24.0, Stouty with a 1:24.5, and Wardley with a 1:26.1. So still waiting on a few people. I'm sure Edgin will let me know if we are planning to have 16 drivers. Don't know what is exactly why that is exactly taking time to get people in, but people do like to take a while to get in. So I'm just going to talk about more about the track. So yes, so 15 corners with a very tight and narrow T1, and then T2 and T3 sort of flow into one. And then the turn 4, 5, and 6 section is a brilliant section of racetrack. I do love that into turn 7. And then we got turn 8, which is an uphill right-hander. You saw a large stroll crash there into turn 10. I think it's called, I can't pronounce the Italian name for it, so I'm not going to. And then through the middle section of turn 10, 11, and 12, as qualifying is underway here. Then we've got a right hand of turn 12, the two S's in turn 13, 14, and then the sweeping left hand of turn 15. But we are out now for qualifying here at the Mugello International Circuit, and the first car out is the McLaren of Ollie. There's just a bit of glitching around the place for Ollie. We have been having a few issues with ping recently on the old ACF1 server. But a few people. Oh, there's a lot of people crashing into the walls. I wonder if we're just having a quick server restart. And I wonder if Edgin's going to tell me we're having a server restart. And we are having a server restart. So quick technical pause here for a second while we have a server restart. That is all good. We can get that sorted. The server restart, I imagine, is for just allowing people to get back in because there's a small, always issues with Assetto Corsa. It never runs as smoothly as you want it to. But there's been issues with technology all across today. I've seen issues with Discord as well. Some notifications not popping up on Discord, even though it should be. It's just see like some of the live streams didn't appear in the Discord chat for some reason. I don't know why that's happening. I wonder if it's an issue with the Discord server or something. I don't really know. But it's fine. We still got 9 people watching. It's really nice to see everyone in. Just waiting on an update for when the server will be restarted. I imagine it's already restarted and I can rejoin. And I'm assuming Agent has told me I can rejoin. And I am just jumping back in to now. Are we having the 16 drivers, Agent, or is it slightly smaller than 16? Just want to let people know. And you can. I'm already back in to the session with someone already taken a bit of wide line with Stouty on board. So everyone is out now, coming to do their first flying lap of the session. And Stouty is the first car out of the pit, so we'll be watching his flying lap around the Mugello International Circuit, or Mugello Racing Circuit as it's called. And we will go through a lap for Stouty, and I'm sure Stouty is going to love the fact that I'm doing this. So we're going to see the first major flying lap around Mugello as we head down the long back straight here as we head into the run into T1. You want to keep to the left-hand side of the track and then heavy braking zone into T1. You want to aim for the apex and then ride out the corner, heading up into turn 2, quickly switching into turn 3 here on the right hander, and then power down the back straight, not running too wide on the curbs there. So we head into turn 4, and then straight into turn 5 as we head down into the best section of the track. It should be flat out through turn 6, and then through turn 7, lovely through there, and then through turn 8 around the right hander, committed there from Stouty, and then to turn 9, still keeping it flat to the floor. So we head for the braking zone of turn 10, and then straight into turn 11. This track just keeps going. So we head now slight up the bump for the long right hander of turn 12. Easy to lock up a tyre there and go into the gravel, but he's done that nicely. As we're heading into the S sections of turn 13 and then straight into turn 14. And they've got one more corner to go, the famous left-hander for turn 15. And then you want to keep close to the barrier. He's locked up a bit there, and then you can run really nice and wide over the curbs. So he keeps it to the inside. And this is lap. They're all going to chase. Stouty crosses the line now, and it is a 1:24.3. So that is the time they're all chasing now. So Jacob coming around the final corner as well. We're going to see what time he can do. Is it more competitive than 1:24.3? 13 minutes to go in this qualifying session. Jacob crosses the line. Just to start his flying lap, actually. Sorry, didn't finish a flying lap, just starting it. Door to door now crosses the line. Does a time of 2 minutes 2. One if he's gone wide there. Cook also crossing the line, and Racing Mouse crossing the line, goes onto pole with a 1:22.9. So far, a lot of people coming into the pits there from their first flying lap. Here comes Edgen. What could he do on his lap time? Goes pole with a 1:20.7, and that is where we expect people to be. James Wardley is now coming up to the line to finish his flying lap. As we see Igor with a 1:19.9. Now that is a quick lap. James Wardley also not completing a lap time. So yeah, Igor was setting the pace in practice and has found the pace here in qualifying. Edgen is on another flying lap here. So we can see that. I love this onboard camera, by the way. Just to the side of the driver's cockpit. It's a brilliant angle to watch Formula One cars drive through. So we go uphill through turns 8 and 9. Looking for a 43.4 in the middle sector. He crosses the middle sector. He's about 3 thousandths down in the middle sector. So it's a good lap time so far for Edgen. If he can improve on that. As Jacob goes fastest with a 1:19.4. And that is an even quicker time. We might get into the 1:18s with a brilliant lap. It's not impossible. So Edgen through the middle sector here. Just through turns 13 and 14. Got one corner to go. Through left-hander nicely on the curb there. Wants to run it nice and wide over the exit. He's done that brilliantly. Bring it back to the left-hand side. Edgen up to the line now. Straight line speed. Down the back straight. Crosses the line. He's into the 1:18s. It's an 18.8. 5 tenths faster than his previous lap time. So Scrub across the line goes 4th fastest. Mouse is also just doing a lap. Stouty coming around the final corner to finish his flying lap. Stouty getting across the line. Does he improve? He doesn't improve. So everyone doing improving laps here. EMP will definitely want to not be starting 11th. He'll want to be near his teammate. So he's going to cross the line, goes 9th faster with a 1:49.7, but he's probably going for a flying lap now. So we're going to stay on board with EMP as he heads into T1. That is a monstrous time from Edgen, the first driver we've seen into the 1:18s. So coming through the first couple of corners here as we head for the first sector, aiming for a 20.4 in the first sector. Does a 20.8, about 4 tenths down on his own teammate, but he doesn't need to beat his teammate, he just needs to get onto that front row. So EMP down through turn 6 and 7. And then for the uphill 8 and 9, which are 2 corners that are absolutely beautiful to drive, there's a car off there, but keeping out the way. EMP fully committed through there. Only now a 10th down in the middle sector, so only about 5 tenths down now overall. We can gain it all back in the final sector. Through turn 12, no locking up of any tyres there. Keeps it nicely through that. And then through The 13 and 14 flat through there into 7th gear, 280 kilometers an hour, 300 kilometers an hour, heavy braking zone. But he runs a bit wide, and I wonder if that's going to lose a bit of time. But he cuts in to the inside and then full acceleration to the line. Can he get onto the front row? And he's a 19.4, crosses the line now and goes fourth fastest, 120.5. Probably got a bit more pace to find. As Raid gets a big snap there, just snapping back to him. So he's going to abandon his qualifying lap as we look for other people doing their laps. Stouty down in the first sector on pole, but it's probably not where he's aiming for this afternoon. Striker Boy new to the league, so I imagine he'll be looking just for a good first qualifying session. Currently 13th fastest, but just finished his out lap. So he'll be going for a flying lap in the Stewart. With 9 minutes to go in this session. Igor, I'm sure, would be like to be further up. He's probably got the pace to get into those maybe a high 118 if he really went for it, but he's got a lot of time to find for that one. EMP just on an in lap now with a couple of drivers off into the gravel. That's going to be where drivers are going to be struggling, just going off into the gravel. That's Ollie into the gravel there, and also Vlad is also in the gravel. Striker is on a flying lap, and Door to Door, I believe, is also on a flying lap. Love these camera angles, by the way. Mugello's got some really nice outboard cameras, so we're going to be seeing those during the 34 laps of the race. As Door to Door comes up to the line now to begin his flying lap in the McLaren. So on board with Door now, we're going to see what kind of competitive lap time he can do with 8 minutes on the clock. Going through the first sector, not running wide in the gravel like we've seen a few drivers do. It's going to be interesting going through there in a race, I'm going to tell you that. It's about 6/10 down on pole, but Door's not aiming for pole. He's got, someone's parked it right on the apex and tries to get out of Door's way, but that was dangerous. And that could have easily ended up with them both being in a wall. Door just dodging that one. So through turns 8 and 9, aiming for a 43.4 in the middle sector. He's run on the gravel. He's kept it in a straight line, but that's lost him time. Lost him a lot of time. So see if he can still get out of the 13th place he's found himself in. Both McLarens down in 13th and 15th. Obviously, all the cars are equal. So it doesn't matter what car you're driving. It's just all about delivery. But still, you've got to carry that McLaren name. So through turn 15 now for Door. It's really full lock there. I don't think he's going to be in the 118s. He might not even be in the 120s. And that time loss and probably that car on the apex didn't help. Crosses the line. Does a 124. Did cross the line, but it didn't count. I think he invalidated his lap time. So Igor is also into the gravel at the moment. P4 actually, Andrew, P4. I didn't see him improve that time. But that's a decent improvement from him. He's currently sitting in 4th. That'll be quick for him. Ahead of EMP. EMP won't like that. 6 minutes to go in this session. A lot of people still to improve. Scrub is another one that could find his way onto the front row. He needs a very good lap to do so. Not easy to find space out there. You can see people going off into the gravel, I imagine, trying to give drivers the space that they need. But it's a very tight circuit in terms of qualifying. In terms of a race, it should be nice wheel-to-wheel battles. Scrub in that middle sector, what's he looking at? He's looking at a 44.6, so not near the magical pole time of Edgin so far. Who's into those 1:18.8. He's still in the pit, so I wonder if he's not going to go out for another flying lap. Jacob is about to start a flying lap, so let's see what he could do on his flying lap. As he slows down, I think he just finished one, just the timing sheets told me. Lying, so he didn't improve his lap time, still stays with a 1:19.4. Let's see if Igor can do a better flying lap. Currently sitting in P3. He's only about 4/10 down on Jacob, who's just pulled into the pits now. And Igor also pulls into the pits, so he's not going to be competing another lap time. Andrew just coming out of the pits. EMP probably about to start a flying lap, so we'll just keep an eye on him. As he crosses the line now to start a flying lap around Mugello. Into T1 then, nicely struck into T1. Nicely running between those. We're now running through turn 4 and turn 5. He's about 4 tenths down in the first sector like he was on his first lap attempt that we saw. Edgin really found that 4 tenths in the first sector that EMP is not finding so far. He's got a car in front of him, but hopefully they'll move out of the way, and they do keep nicely off of the apex, so EMP can nicely run through, flat through there, fully committed. He's about tenths down in the middle sector now, so he's gained a bit of time back, but not enough at the moment. He'd be looking to at least get into the 119s to try and join his teammate on the front row. Tyre strategies will come into play here. Fuel is important, as Edgin found out in Korea. EMP through turn 15 now, keeping it nice to the exit curb, and then flat to the line to see what kind of time you've pulled. With 4 minutes to go, as he pulls into the pits, not finishing that lap time, doesn't think he can improve, so he's decided to get a new set of boots and try again. Jacob is also out for another lap. I think Igor is just starting one, so we're going to keep on board with Jacob as he coming through turn 15 now to begin his flying lap. He's probably got enough fuel for 2 flying laps, I would imagine, with 3 minutes to go. So crossing the line to start a flying lap here around Mugello as we look for turn 1's braking point. Aim for about the 50-meter board, late braking in, locking up the front right, keeping it nice to the curb. Acceleration out of the corner through turns 2 and into turn 3 as there's another car off into the gravel trap. And nicely on those curbs, looking for a first sector. He's matched Edgin to the decimal point in the first sector. No margin of error there. So Jacob nicely through that first sector with a 20.4, the exact same as Edgin did on his best flying lap. So through turn 8 and 9, not as committed as I've seen some drivers go through there, but he keeps it flat through there. Lets off a little on the brake there, but he's 3 tenths up in the middle sector. And now the track evolving here for Jacob, and it's really working a treat. Through turn 12 now, keeping it nice to the curb. And now accelerating out of the corners. We head through turns 13 and 14. Nicely through those curbs. Now aiming for turn 15. Heavy braking zone for turn 15. Turning it in third gear. And then the acceleration out nicely through there. And we're going to see what time he can do. It looks like it could be good enough to beat those 118.8. Jacob crosses the line now, and he's lost it. It's a 119.4. He lost it all in that final sector. It was looking so good for Jacob. But what happened in that final sector? It looked like a fine final sector, but he lost it all. Well, that is a shame for Jacob. That time was there on the board. Clearly, he had the pace to do that lap time. Igor running wide. And that is such a shame for him because he looked like he was on for a pacey lap. Igor is going to be starting another lap here. I think he made a few mistakes on that previous lap. So with 1 minute 40 on the clock, the top 2 are still in the pits. Igor is on a flying lap, even though the bottom left-hand corner lies, because it's just so glitchy with the set, of course. So there is ways to fix it, but we can't be bothered. As he has a big snap there and loses the rear end, and that will most likely be Igor's qualifying over with, unless he can get it back to the pits and try again. There's a few people on laps. EMP is one of those people. As we head through that corner, crosses the line. So the middle sector, sorry, 9 tenths down, but I wonder if he's just doing a quick cool down lap before he goes for another flyer. Door to door across the line, stays 7th fastest. Scrub is finishing a flying lap here. As he comes round the final corner, as he pulls into the pits, that will be his qualifying session over with 8th at a minimum. Striker Boy is coming up to the line now. Can he improve on his 123.1? Crosses the line, does a 122.6, goes 11th, but doesn't improve massively. Stouty crosses the line to start his flying lap. Ollie needs a lap. He's got a only lap right now is a 5 minute 10. Not good enough for any position on the grid. As we head through the corner, which he's been struggling with so much, but he gets it nicely through there. Even if he can get into the 120s, I think that'd be a good result for him. He's 3/10 down in the middle sector. Someone's hit the wall on the right-hand side, but Ollie keeps out of their way. 10 seconds left in the session. Edgin, Jacob, and Igor are not coming out here, so at the moment, those are your top three. There's only a few people going to beat them. So we're going to see how that sorts itself out. The session is over with. A stupid flying flag on my screen. As Ollie's middle sector isn't bad. It's not bad. 6/10 down, but it's not terrible. So that is your top at the moment, unless Door can do anything about it. Edgen has got pole position once again. That last lap attempt from Jacob just didn't seem to work out for him. So just riding on board with Ollie now, the only one to not register a proper lap time. So he's got turn 15 to go. We can see he runs wide there, but he won't matter because he's just got to come to the line. He's just got to beat a 126.4 to get himself into the top 14. Ollie straight up to the line. It's going to be a decent lap time across the line now. He goes ninth fastest. Good improvement from him with a 121.5. But for this man, Edgin, it's another pole position in ACF1. And this time it's around Mugello. Vlad crosses the line. Can't improve his lap time. And the only other people on laps, Stouty can't improve as well. So that is qualifying over with. Your top 15 for the Mugello Grand Prix with Adrian, Jacob, and Igor as your top three. Jacob and Adrian on the front row. It's going to be tasty into T1. We've got some good battles towards the midfield pack as well. So, and Dor does go 8th fastest to put himself a few places higher. So that is your qualifying session over with. 34 laps will begin shortly. And it's going to be a spicy turn one, I can tell you that. So as we look, just to get the grid sorted, takes a few seconds to do so. So in terms of performance of race, Scrub is always pretty quick in the race, so is Vlad. EMP we know is quick, so it's going to be a good improvement, I'm sure, from 5th. Raid is also a quick driver. Him and EMP had some really good battles in Malaysia. Might see a repeat of that. Mouse is quick as well. In terms of towards the lower part of the grid, Racing Mouse is quite a quick driver. Striker, I haven't seen him race in a competitive racing scenario. Obviously, we see him qualifying now. Andrew J, I don't think I've ever seen him race in ACF1. I might be wrong, but I think this is his first time racing. I don't think he was racing. No, this is definitely his first time. So 4th on the grid is a really good performance from him. And yeah, so Edgin, another Ferrari pole position, followed by Jacob in the Benetton, and then Igor also in the Benetton, I believe. Or they might be a Williams. I'm not entirely sure. The cars are seeable. I'm just not very good at remembering names. And then Andrew J in 4th with EMP, Raid, Vlad, and Dor, your top 8, because if you remember correctly from the previous 2 races, the top 8 are the only ones that score points. No top 10 stuff like it is in modern day. It's the top 8 only. So the grid has been decided, and we will be heading down into T1 shortly. And what a camera angle that is to begin our race, as we have the 6 red lights ready for Mugello. And the lights are coming on here. And it's lights out. And we're underway here at Mugello. It's a good start from Edgy, but it's a terrible start from Jacob as he drops back from the pact. As we're heading now down into T1. Edgen leads from Andrew. Igor is sitting in 3rd as we head into the braking zone of T1. And it's a much cleaner T1. Few people going off wide. Edgen runs off wide into the gravel. There's about 3 or 4 cars in the gravel trap there, but they all keep going in a straight line. It's now Andrew leads his first race in ACF1, followed by Igor, then Jacob, then EMP, Racing Mouse, Scrub, Door-to-Door, Cook, Vlad, Wardley, and Edgin now down in 11th. Wardley now into 10th, but loses place to Edgin. And what a brilliant start from Andrew as he makes his way up. Igor is in 2nd, followed by Jacob, EMP, Racing Mouse, followed by Scrub, Door, and Cook. Vlad, and Edgin, another good start, but making a mistake off the line. James Wardley, Raid, and then Striker Boy. Stouty running off into the gravel. Can he keep it on the circuit? He can. Ollie and Vlad's also made a mistake somewhere. Keep an eye on where he is, and he is dropping down the order as well. So Jacob closing in on Igor, Edgin closing in on Cook. So let's go round the outside of turn 12 as there's a mistake from Cook. He's actually hit Edgin. I wonder if Edgin's got any damage on his car. Cook goes off. Can he bring it onto the circuit? Probably can. Wardley ahead of Raid. It's all kicking off here at the start of the Mugello Grand Prix. Here comes Striker. Can he go down the inside of James Wardley? They've touched. They bang wheels. He does a really nice slide. Does Striker Boy. Keeps it on the circuit. And we keep an eye on Jacob now as he's right behind Igor. Can he have a go into turn 1? Not on this occasion. EMP, though, getting overtaken by not only one, but two drivers. Scrub on his inside. Scrub's got two into T1. The Scrub gets ahead of Racing Mouse as well, but he loses the rear end. Has to come back onto the circuit. Lets Racing Mouse past him around the outside. And that is a corner people are struggling with this afternoon. Door into 7th. Raid's dropping down. He's had a spin as well in a similar place that a lot of people have. Striker up into 9th now, as Raid dropping down the order. So Jacob closing in on Igor, but Andrew clear out front ahead of Igor, 2.2 seconds. So EMP really closing in now on Scrub, but Door is also closing in on him. Only retirement from this race so far is Cook having that collision with Edgin. Wasn't Edgin's fault, but I wonder if Edgin has damage that's going to be causing him issues later on in the race. Vlad is on his rear trying to catch him and overtake. So Door in the McLaren looking to get EMP there, really struggling with the rear end there. As we're heading through turn 13 and 14 now, just to try and keep on him as we head down the back straight. That slipstream effect down the back straight will really help him, but he's got to keep right near him as Vlad and Ollie have a collision, and Vlad is off into the gravel trap. EMP and Scrub, I think, have had a collision, or EMP's definitely made a mistake. Trying to keep up with everything is very difficult here. Vlad's definitely off. He's trying to get back on the circuit. Scrub now pushing for door to door. I think they must have had a collision. Wish we had an instant replay feature like we do in F1, but unfortunately that is not available for us. Striker trying to close down EMP here. Striker almost one position away from the points. And Jacob, two teammates. Will they have a quick battle here? I wonder if Jacob's saying, Igor, just let me go have a go on Andrew. You guys, that guy's pulling away. The new guy is pulling away from the two drivers that have been doing it from the start. So Striker, on the other hand, does fancy himself to get EMP here. Now Striker Boy, another one new to the league, obviously benefited off the chaotic start. But he's now got to get ahead of the Ferrari driver. Now EMP sitting in the last points position, only on lap 3 here, as Igor has made a mistake, or have the two teammates collided there, just missing that on the feed. But must have been a collision between the two drivers as Igor is trying to go onto the escape road, get back onto the main road without causing too much issues. But Igor down into 7th now. And Igor's still on the gravel, but he's trying to get away as Andrew sets the first lap of the race. So Igor down to 11th. Striker Boy is into the points there. I apologise for missing that, but trying to keep up with all this action is a bit insane. Striker is still pressing his chance on EMP and down the back straight. Look at the slipstream effect for Striker Boy as he pulls ahead of EMP before the braking zone. Striker up into 7th place on his debut here in ACF1. He's scoring 2 points at the moment. Scrub, on the other hand, is closing in on the top 4. James Wardley's made a mistake there, and he's gone off now. He's now down into 9th, down into 10th now, behind Raid, and maybe down into 11th behind Igor. And if you get knocked off on this circuit, you've got a long road to recovery. So EMP is still on the back of Striker Boy, but not pressurizing him. Igor's made a mistake as well. Another mistake, so Igor now behind Stouty, who's got rear wing damage there? Looks like he's struggling with his rear wing. Yeah, that rear wing is definitely damaged. So maybe he can fix that in the pits. Ollie is going to be pressurizing him as well. EMP is pressurizing Striker here. He's not done with Striker Boy yet. Edgin will be on their tail very shortly. EMP looks to try and get a wide berth out of that corner. Try and get a nice exit. Oh, he loses a bit though. And it's going to bring Edgin into play here. And is EMP going to allow Edgin to go past him? And EMP pulls to the inside, and Jacob with the fastest lap there, so he's going to try and catch Andrew J up. So Edgen allowed past EMP to try and chase down Striker Boy. That has allowed Raid to attack him. It's allowed Scrub to get up into P4 as well. Door into P5. EMP down into P9 behind Raid. But he comes back at him now into T1, not too far back on this occasion. There's a big collision between Ollie and Igor. Ollie keeps it going in a straight line. But that is big damage for the McLaren driver. Igor is also off. They both keep going in a straight line, but that is a big collision there. Somehow both cars are still working. And we're only on lap 5 here. So Racing Mouse has got ahead now of Jacob. Jacob's made a mistake. Again, another mistake from Jacob as he's pushing way too hard to try and catch the leader. And he's dropped down behind into P5. Racing Mouse up into P2. Door-to-door up into P4. Andrew J, on the other hand, is cruising out in front, 11 seconds ahead of Racing Mouse. Probably wondering where everyone's got to this afternoon at the moment. But the battle in the midfield carries on growing as Edgen is battling with Striker Boy, who's battling with Raid. And Edgen saw a gap. He saw it. Didn't find it. Andrew J with a new fastest lap there, 1:22.9. Edgen pulls to the outside line for the final corner. We're going to ride on board with the Ferrari driver now. Quicker through that sector there. You can just see right behind the rear of him. How is his straight line speed going to be? Edgen followed by Raid. Raid seems to have got more straight line speed. The slipstream effect from getting both cars now. Raid on the inside. Can he go around the outside as we head into T1? Edgen backs out. Raid doesn't. Keeps on the inside. Striker Boy going all the way around the outside, keeping his lead. But Striker's lost the rear end, and he's lost his 2 positions. And after his brave defense of P6, he's dropped down into P8. And that is not where you want to be going, Striker Boy. So Scrub is now pressurizing Racing Mouse now. This is for P2 on the road. And someone goes wide there. Who's that? It's just gone wide. I wonder if that's just as lap car of Vlad. Vlad has just gone wide. Lap car Raid. Pressurizing Edge and now can go all around his outside. That's going to be a dangerous place to do it there. Around Arabiata. Doesn't make it stick. He sticks behind Edgen for another lap. Scrub, on the other hand, really pressurizing Racing Mouse here. We thought Racing Mouse would have a bit of pace, as he always does during a race scenario, but he seems to be on it this afternoon. Scrub just chasing him down here on lap 7 of 34. Really cruising through the laps now. As we head down the back straight, this is a perfect chance for Scrub to take second place off of Racing Mouse, pulls to the outside line, and just almost clipping the back of him there. But Racing Mouse comes back at him into turn 1. Scrub gives him room and has to concede the position. Wardley is another one past EMP. EMP really struggling with straight line speed this afternoon on his setup, but EMP not going to give that up easily. Pulls to the inside, but I think he's just going to drive all the way around the outside of him. James Wardley does, and Wardley up into 9th. And I wonder if EMP is carrying a bit of damage. So Scrub is still in touching distance of second place. Wardley making another mistake, which allows EMP and Stout to get ahead. But we turn back to the battle for P2, and this involves not only 1, not only 2, but 3 drivers all trying to chase down Racing Mouse. But Scrub's got to be careful here because Dort will, no doubt, if he sees a gap, he will go for it. The McLaren driver wanting a good position here in ACF1. Jacob is also a man who is quick around this circuit. It's already been proven this afternoon after him running in second place. But all the time, these 4 drivers battled out for second place. Andrew's like, you know what, guys? I'm just going to go on and win this Grand Prix. So Scrub is 4/10 behind Racing Mouse, who's 4/10 behind Door, who's 4/10 behind Jacob. Jacob, nice exit through that corner there. But can they get the slipstream effect that they need down the back straight? Scrub not close enough on this occasion as we're heading down into T1, into San Donato. He pulls to the inside. He goes for a late braking move. Does Racing Mouse see it coming? He does. They go wheel to wheel. But I think he's just pulled ahead. I think Door's also just pulled ahead of Scrub there. So no margin forever as Racing Mouse down into 30. Runs a bit wide now. It's going to allow Door to come up his inside. Also allow Jacob. Is he going to let Jacob pass? Jacob! Goes around the outside. And they touch. He tried to go around his outside. There's a bit of a collision there in the midfield. Racing Mouse dropping down the order. Jacob pulling back onto the circuit. Another collision with Jacob and Mouse. Mouse down into 8th. Jacob down into 6th. Striker back up into P7. but that was always going to happen. Pulling onto the circuit in a tight circuit, but Door is not done battling for this second place as we return to Scrub and Door. This is for second on the road. These two drivers are they'll battle hard for their positions, and I imagine we're going to see some hard racing now. So we two turns 13 and 14. Door pulls to the outside, maybe looking for a mistake from Scrub. No mistake made. Wardley ahead of Igor there. That's for 11th. Door's got the inside line, but a lovely route round the outside for Scrub. Can Door get the slip ring effect he needs? We saw a late braking move from the man in front on Racing Mouse the lap before. Edging with a fast lap now, 1:22.8. He's a few seconds behind these pack. So Door not making any major moves. Stouty on their hand is making a major move here on EMP. And EMP really struggling now. James Worley with a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So that will be added to his race time. So EMP just now behind Stouty. So EMP really struggling with pace. I wonder if he does have damage. We'll have to find out later on when he pits. So lap 9 of 34. The leader has not changed since lap 1, since he took the lead off of that crazy start. Started P4, is now leading the race. Door is challenging for second place with Scrub. Raid challenging Edgin for fourth. These are the closest battles on track right now. So we're going to keep an eye on these battles. Not even at half race distance yet, and we've had a lot of chaos here. If you didn't see the start of the race, you can't press the red button on your Sky remote because we don't have one. Can they go Ned? No, so they do have to swap onto an alternative tyre strategy. So it's not just can't go mid-med. They will have to swap onto a set of hards or maybe a set of softer tyres. It's a very good question. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, so Wardley is coming out of the pits now. Hopefully not to involve himself in this battle. Blue flags are enabled, of course. So just letting those two drivers past. Edgin is getting closer to Door. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. So Door pressurizing Scrub. Raid pressurizing Edgin. That is the battle for fourth and the battle for third. There is a lap car in the way here of Edgin. He's going to have to move out of the way, James Wardley, if he doesn't want to get himself another penalty. Later in the race, he's not moving out of the way at the moment. Edgin really struggling with the dirty air off the back of Wardley. I'm sure Wardley pulls to the inside now. He doesn't, not just yet, as Edgin getting really frustrated with the lap car in his way. You think this is a 5-car battle for P3? No, it's a 4-car battle. Wardley finally does let Edgin past, and maybe, just maybe, he won't just let Raid through just yet. As Andrew pulls into the pits here on lap 10, already making his first pit stop. So Igor also closing down on EMP, probably getting down the back straight. So Scrub will take the lead of the Grand Prix ahead of Andrew. Still in the pits now, so Scrub into first, then comes Door, then Edgin, then Raids. Jacob will also jump in front. Striker might get in front of him as well, just depending how long his pit stop phase is. So Scrub into the lead. He's got Door. So this is now a battle for the lead between 4 drivers with Door, Edgin, Raid, and Jacob shortly to be involved. So that is going to be quite the battle indeed. So Andrew now finally pulls out the pits. Will come out in I think I'll be P11, just ahead of Vlad. So he's got some work to do, but on a new fresh set of tyres and a new load of fuel in the car, he is really going to be going for it. So Igor running a bit wide there on EMP, not making any gains on him yet. So Dawn, this is now the battle for the race lead. On lap 11 of 34, the former race leader Andrew pitted this lap. So he's going to be trying to catch the rest of the field now. Everyone else hasn't made a pit stop just yet. The only one who has made a pit stop actually was James Wardley, having to pit after getting a 5-second time penalty. But Door making a mistake there, is allowing Edgin up the inside, but not just yet. Edgin just warning him though, it's like, I'm there, I'm in your rear, I'm coming for you. Igor still in the rear of EMP, who again is super struggling this afternoon. And I wonder if there is some reason for that. Edgin, though, what an exit off of the final corner. Raid pulling into the pits there as Edgin just on just on the inside. Can't make any gains. Can he brake late enough, though, to get Door into T1? Edgin brakes late, gets ahead of Door, and Edgin just ahead of Door there into second place, and Edgin gaining back those positions he lost at the start of the race. So Raid is in the pits currently. Andrew just coming around the final corner there. So I think he should be comfortably ahead because he had that comfortable gap when he pitted in the first place. And Raid, yep, still in the pits. So Scrub now leads with Adrian now in second place. Door now down into third. Jacob into fourth, about 2 seconds behind this pack. Then comes Striker Boy running fifth in his debut in ACF1. Then follows Racing Mouse, Stouty, and Igor. So Wardley now ahead as well. Ray just coming out of the pits now in P11, about 20 seconds behind Andrew. There's been a change of the lead. What's happened here? Has Door gone for an ambitious move? Has Scrub made a mistake? I think so. Door now into the lead ahead of Jacob. Jacob now into second. Edgin down into third. Scrub down into fourth. Has Scrub made a mistake there? We can't check a replay. And we're going to have to find out from someone as Stouty loses the rear end but keeps it on the circuit. But yeah, big change of the lead there. Now Door leads from Jacob, from Edgin. Now Scrub down into fourth. I wonder if Scrub did just make a mistake allowing people to pull in front. Jacob into the lead now with Door pulling into the pits. Edgin now takes second place with Scrub back up into the podiums. People making their pit stops now on lap 13. Andrew really triggering all of this, to be honest with you. So Striker, Stouty, and Door in the pits now. Andrew will gain a few places. Striker Boy 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane. EMP up into 6th now. Stouty also a 5-second time penalty for speeding. So Andrew up into 7th now, about 10 seconds off EMP, but bearing in mind the rest of the grid haven't pitted yet. The front top 6 have not pitted. So Door, so Striker, just a quick splash and a dash and gets ahead there. Is he going to come out ahead of Raid? It must have not been a quick pit stop for him as Raid pulls into P11. He's not going to even get Door and Striker having small, short pit stops there. And I wonder if Raid is going for the long haul, and I wonder if he's going to stay out on that set of tyres until the end of the race. As Racing Mouse goes wide, makes another mistake there. Igor back up into fourth. Stouty just coming out of the pits now. So edging about 9/10 off of the lead. Not making a pit stop as of yet. Jacob, Scrub, and Igor and EMP not making pit stops. Racing Mouse hasn't made one either. So Jacob doesn't pit, stays out. So does Edgin. Scrub, is he going to pit on this lap? No, stays out for another lap, about 5 seconds off of Edgin. Igor, we're going to keep an eye on him. He doesn't pull into the pits either. And EMP stays out in P5. So lap 14 of 34. Few people having made their pit stops and a few people not having made their pit stops. Only 2 retirees from this race, Ollie and Cook. As Racing Mouse pulls in on lap 7, Andrew up into P6 now. So EMP up into P5, followed by Igor, then Scrub, then Edgin, and Jacob leading another race. Jacob did lead most of the race in Malaysia and ended up winning it. So Raid now pressurizing Door. This is the battle for 8th place. Raid with the fastest lap now. So he did make that long pit stop as he pulls to the outside, pulls ahead of Door to Door, and Raid up into 8th place. He's going to be a threat in this race. That's a quick lap from Raid. He's obviously got to do a big job to catch up to Andrew, having made that pit stop earlier in the race. Stouty in 11th with James Wardley battling, not with anyone actually, because that is, oh, that's not the race leader. He's battling with someone. Oh, I think he's being lapped by someone. I don't know. So Door is still on the back of Raid. Jacob, having not made his pit stop yet, still leads 14 laps now as we come across the line for lap 15. Edgin is made a mistake in that final corner because he's just dropped back loads. He's allowed Scrub to really close in. Scrub pulls to the inside now, and Scrub ahead of Edgin into second place. I think also Striker's made a mistake. Striker has made a spin. He's trying to put it back on the circuit, and he's down into 9th now, so no points coming his way at the moment. It has to do with the biggest 3 points in history. Door into 8th, Raid into 7th. So with Edgin making a mistake there, I wonder if his tyres are just starting to struggle here around Mugello. A lot of people having made their pit stops, and they're not struggling anymore. So I think the main threat in this race, obviously, Andrew had that big gap before he pitted. So he is really the net race leader at the moment. Igor is running in fourth. Edgen still running in the top three. Scrub back into the top two, and Jacob leading by a comfortable margin of 9.4 seconds. Still not making his pit stop yet, though. So we're going to see how this is going to go for the drivers. So Jacob just into the final corner now, with Andrew just coming through turns 10 and 11. So Jacob still staying out there onto lap 16, probably going for the long first stint, maybe going for a quick final stint. We're going to see how that runs. And Igor is on the back of Edgen here, and I wonder if Edgen is really starting to struggle now because he's dropped back a lot from Scrub already. Scrub crossing the line. And Edgen pulls into the pits there on lap 16, so he was struggling with his tyres and maybe fixing a bit of damage on his car as well. So Andrew and EMP will go ahead of them. So Andrew now up into P5, having made his one and only pit stop. Maybe he might make another one. We'll find out later in the race. So Raid 7th, Door 8th, and Striker Boy in 9th, having made that spin. Racing Mouse in 10th, as he does a nice little slide there. Stouty, having made a pit stop, chasing Mouse down. So Edgen still in the pits there, maybe just fixing his car up. Raid getting ahead of him. Door will also get ahead, and so will probably Striker Boy, if that's timed correctly. And Edgen just coming out of the pits now, as Igor makes another mistake, and Igor down into 5th behind Andrew, so that's another position made from Andrew, and he didn't have to do anything. So Edgen is behind Striker Boy, but he shouldn't drop any more positions, so Edgen coming out 9th place on a new set of tyres with a fixed car. Let's see what he can do in terms of pace-wise. Jacob leads by 14 seconds ahead of Scrub. These two not making their pit stops. I will specify once again, EMP also has not made a pit stop. And Andrew just looking to get past a lapped car here. Lap cars should get out of the way. Andrew just making sure of that by giving a little bit of a nudge on the rear. Stouty closing in on Racing Mouse as well, so we're going to be keeping an eye on all this battle. Jacob stays out again, so does Scrub. EMP, his teammate, pitting a lap before. Will EMP pit on this lap? Nope, not on this lap. He stays out again. But you've got Andrew chasing him down, who has been quick already this weekend. And Striker Boy has sticking behind Edgen, about 5/10 behind him. These two having made a pit stop. 17 laps in. Raid with a new fast lap, a 1:22.1. So Raid is still a threat in this race. So we're going to see how he can improve. Igor is in 5th with Andrew now running in 4th. He's got about 1.4 seconds to EMP. EMP now, you've got to question. EMP obviously struggling with pace so far this afternoon. If Edgen does have pace, but saying that, Striker is right on the back of him here. Striker pulls to the inside. This is for points as Striker pulls ahead of Edgen. Ahead into P8 as Edgen goes for a late braking move, messed it up, locks up, and is now behind him. About a second to go, and Edgen went for a sort of half move there. It did not pay off in his favour. So Andrew now on to the back of EMP. EMP has been struggling with straight line speed all afternoon, as Striker now does make his own mistake, which allowed Edgen to go past. Or as Mouse makes a mistake trying to catch up to Striker Boy, allowing Stouty past. We're going to see how quick Andrew is down the straights here compared to EMP. The Ferrari running in 3rd here. EMP has been on the podium a few times this season already. He's taking this league very seriously indeed. And this has been a much better race to watch than Korea. Really good racing for everyone. Awesome to see people putting in the practice, and it just makes it so much better for everyone watching. Stouty is pressurizing Striker Boy here, about 5/10 of a second, the gap between these two drivers. Edgen is running in 8th, bit of no man's land at the moment. Door running in 7th, and then Raid in 6th with Igor in 5th. Andrew about 5/10 off of EMP. Wants to try and clear him pretty quickly. I know the three drivers in front of him hasn't pitted yet, but he doesn't want to be held up by a slower EMP. So if you remember as well, also at the end of the race, still long way to go in this race, but the top 3 drivers, which will change around a lot before the end of the race, will get interviewed. And here goes Andrew. He's already on the inside line here on EMP. EMP will defend him heading into turns 13 and 14. Not a place to overtake there. But Andrew just needs to stick behind him, and look at the extra speed he's got. Can he go round the outside of turn 15? Is it a smart move? Scrub pulls into the pits, and what a move that is! All the way around the outside. Andrew moving himself up into third, and will move himself up into second, with Scrub pulling into the pits now. So Andrew into P2, followed by EMP, who might have another chance of taking back that second place. Andrew moves to the inside to defend, and EMP not going to try and do that one. So Igor now into fourth, Racing Mouse ahead of Stouty. Scrub still in the pits now, just changing his tyres, probably maybe fixing a bit of damage on his car as well. So Door up into sixth. Will Scrub get ahead of Edgin, who's currently just coming through the final corner? That's the interesting battle. So 28 seconds the gap between Jacob and Andrew there. So Scrub's still in the pits now, and Edru Edgin into seventh. That's his new name. Striker into eighth. So Scrub just pulling out the pits now. Will he get ahead of Racing Mouse? I don't think so. I think it's going to be close. So Scrub pulling out of the pits now. Racing Mouse crosses the line, and Scrub won't get ahead of him. So Racing Mouse just getting ahead of Scrub. There is Jacob on lap 19, heading on to lap 20, pulls into the pits now. Igor is challenging EMP, so Andrew just coming through turns 13 and 14 with Jacob in the pits. Racing Mouse making another mistake, allowing Scrub to easily pass him. So Jacob in the pits, Andrew through the final corner now, should make an easy pass unless Jacob's going for a quick pit stop, but I don't think he will be. So Andrew takes the lead of the race on lap 20 here. Jacob still in the pits. EMP is now passed easily by Igor for second place. EMP yet to make a pit stop here in Mugello. Jacob still in the pits. Raid into fourth now. Door might get ahead of him as well. And he probably will. The question is, where is Edgen going to fall out? As Andrews, he made a mistake. He's had a spin. Andrews had a spin, and that is a catastrophic mistake from the man who was going to be comfortably leading. He's now down into third. Raid is right on his tail as well. And he's now got to do a bit of catching up to do, and that's a mistake that he will not want to watch back. Scrub also making a mistake, hitting the wall there. Jacob behind Edgen now. And it's all kicked off here with a pit stop. Scrub down into 11th, Racing Mouse into 10th, and Stouty in 9th. Striker Boy is running in the points in 8th, Jacob in 7th. And we've got Edgen running into 6th, Door in 5th, Raid in 4th. Andrew, who did take back the lead of the race, having made that mistake, is now down into 3rd again. EMP up onto 2nd place, and Igor into the lead. So lap 20 of 34. Jacob, new set of tyres. Raid is also on a new set of tyres, so is Door. EMP and Igor, I believe, still haven't pitted yet. And this is the lap that Igor chooses to pit. He pits on lap 20. EMP, will he pit as well? No, EMP stays out again. So Igor into the pits. Andrew will take back that second place. So hopefully that spin won't cost him too badly in terms of race pace. Raid into third, and then comes Door. And then Edgen will probably get back into the top 10, sorry, the top 4 as well. So Igor did have the pace this afternoon. He's got to make the pit stop. You have to pit at least once in these conditions. Obviously, in wet conditions, it'd be different. Maybe we'll have a wet race. You never know. Fingers crossed. It's possible. So Striker is currently 8th, but he should jump in front of Igor as well. So Igor's going to have to do some racing on his hands, but he's no fool at racing. So Striker into 7th now. Igor still in the pits. Will he get ahead of Stouty? That's the real question. So lap 21, EMP leads now from Andrew, about 1.8 seconds between those two drivers. Then comes Raid in third. Igor just coming out the pits now. He's going to come out maybe ahead of Scrub as James Wardley is into the barriers. He's just pulling it back onto the circuit now. And Igor into 10th, Scrub not anywhere close to catching him. So, take a recap of the race so far. Lap 21, it's been a lot of chaotic racing as you can imagine. If you've stayed through the whole thing, it's been brilliant racing we've seen, and this will be put up onto Racing to the Fullest YouTube channel at the end of today, as EMP does finally pull into the pits on lap 21, which means Andrew will take the lead. Raid into second and Door into third. So Raid now versus Andrew, and we've got a real race on our hands. Raid with much fresher tyres then Andrew on lap 22. Is there going to be another pit stop coming? We don't know. But Door now into third. EMP just making into the pits now. Edging into fourth. Jacob will take fifth, followed by Striker Boy and then Stouty as well. Depends how long EMP's pit stop is. He's been on that tyre set for a long time, going for maybe a softer set of tyres to push right to the end. Striker into the pits again. So that is another pit stop for Striker Boy, and maybe we are going to be seeing more than one. We're going to be seeing two-stop race today. So Striker, the first person to pull in for a second pit stop as Wardley pulls in maybe to retire the car. He's not had the best opening weekend for himself. So Stouty into sixth now. EMP still in the pits. Racing Mouse into seventh. EMP just pulling out the pits now as Striker still just making another pit stop. So EMP pulls ahead. He's not going to get ahead of Igor. He will get ahead of Scrub. And we're going to be seeing if Striker is coming out again. I would hope so because he's had a really decent first race here. So we'll just find out if he's coming out again. Edgin is closing in on door to door. We've seen these two battle already this afternoon. We might see it happen again. We're going to ride on board with Edgin for a bit as well because we haven't seen a lot of this onboard camera, but it's a lovely onboard camera indeed. Just see these 1997 cars work so well around this circuit. And now great exit from Edgin out of the corner. The two top leaders actually do pit on lap 22 here. So we're going to see more than one pit stop. Edgin right behind door to door as we head into turn one. This is for the race lead this. So we head into T1. Edgin on the inside, door on the outside. Late braking from Edgin takes the lead of the race. So Edgin back into the lead, followed by Door. Jacob now in third. Andrew and Raid, having made their first pit stop, is now doing their second. We're going to see where that funnels them out to on lap 23. So we're going to be seeing at least another pit stop from a few other drivers. But Edgin and Door pitted late. And EMP, another one, maybe going for a one-stop strategy. That is a risk, I imagine, for the race leader. Andrew comes out of pits, and so does Raid now. Racing Mouse into fifth ahead of those two drivers. Andrew will get ahead of Igor, I imagine. Raid did not get ahead of Igor, but will he get ahead of EMP? That's a really good question. And the answer is, unless he can brake late, no. So EMP now into 8th place, having made a one pit stop. And Door is still challenging Edgin, but Edgin just having to get past a few lapped drivers. So Igor within a second of Andrew, who's having made a second pit stop and then chasing down Racing Mouse. And we've got Stouty running in fourth now, about 23 seconds off the lead. Igor really in the mood now to close the gap to Andrew to take that 6th place. Can't do it just yet. So we're going to see how that pans out. Raid, another one looking to get up into position, but EMP, having made a pit stop, will be quicker on a new set of tyres. So Igor just closing down now on Andrew, but I'd expect Andrew to start pulling away. Lap 24 of 34. Edgin leads from Door, who's struggling to get past lapped traffic. Oh, he's been taken out by lapped traffic. Oh, and that is controversial of the highest degree. He's also taken out Striker Boy at the same time. Stouty into the pits, and Door has been taken out by lapped traffic. Jacob ahead there. I think that was that Wardley? It was Wardley, and oh, it's going to be a big controversial moment there as EMP being chased down by Raid. Igor still chasing down Andrew J. And that battle is not over yet. So Igor gets a brilliant exit out of the corner. He pulls to the outside line. Not going to make a move there. Surely, Igor, you're not going to be brave enough to pull one there. So Igor now following through Savolo. I think that's how you say it. And then into Arabiata. Two Arabiatas coming up, turns 8 and turn 9, as Jacob ahead of Door as well. So Jacob now into 2nd place. Striker Boy into 11th with Stouty, just coming out of the pits now. Striker might catch him as Sam pulls into the pit stops. Edgin is in the pit stop. Jacob takes the lead of the race. Door is also into the pits, so second pit stops were happening. They were always going to. So this battle actually is probably for the race lead right now. EMP, having made one pit stop and probably only going for a one-stop race, is currently running in 7th. That's an interesting move. Edgin just pulls in and out of the pits, and I wonder if he had a... He wasn't in the pits there for long. I wonder if he just had a drive-through penalty. We'll have to try and update you on that. As Racing Mouse gets a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pits. Door is still in the pits as well. So Igor chasing down Andrew, just can't make the move yet. EMP is in 5th, followed by Raid. Then this comes Scrub ahead of Door to Door. Mouse in the pit, Stouty now in 10th as well. So Edgen just got a lapped car in front of him, lets him pass. So Jacob leads here. Stouty not going to get Mouse, as Mouse is pulling out the pits. Striker is also not going to gain anyone as well. I got dropped back from Andrew now, about 2nd. Raid has not dropped back from EMP though. And this is all sort of coming to a climax here in ACF1. Your podium right now is Jacob, Edgen, and Andrew. Striker is now into 10th ahead of Stouty. No points for Striker Boy at the moment. But this race, we don't know how it's going to end. Raid closing in still on EMP. Edgen about 17 seconds off the lead of the race, having made that mysterious pit stop. I don't know if it was a quick pit stop just to get some fuel in his car, but it seemed very quick indeed. Too quick for a tyre change. As Raid can't find a way past just yet. Still behind EMP, but EMP has struggled for straight line speed as we're on to lap 26 of 34. Jacob leads from Edgen from Andrew. As Andrew looks for his maiden podium in ACF1 as Raid easily pulls ahead of EMP. Nothing EMP can do about that. And EMP down into 6th. Behind Raid now. As Door is also looking to get ahead of Scrub. Scrub pulls to the inside to defend, which becomes the outside line for turn 2. Door looking for a way past. Scrub not going to let him past easily as Andrew and Igor got a bit close there. EMP having made a mistake maybe. Oh no, Andrew, sorry, making a mistake. He's dropped out of 3rd, and I think they must have had a collision, those two drivers. They were getting close to each other, and a collision might have happened. It's now put Raid into 3rd, and EMP only a 2nd off of the podiums. Trying to keep in top of everything is very difficult here, everyone. I do apologise. But Andrew now down into 5th, followed by Igor in 6th. Door is still chasing down Scrub for 7th. This could become a 5-way battle for a podium finish here. Raid sitting in 3rd. Those did the same mistake, no collision. So quick update, no collision between the two drivers, just making the same mistake. A lot of people have been making a mistake coming out of turn 2. It's easy to do. So Edgen 11 seconds off the lead of the race with Scrub. 27 laps completed. 34 will be the final lap. Andrew about 1.3 seconds off of EMP, followed by Igor. Door is going to have a good run now on Scrub as we head down into T1. And Door pulls to the outside line. Scrub tries to defend the inside, but nothing he can do on this occasion unless he breaks late into T1, which he does, but Door can drive all the way around his outside and Door up into P7. I go about 5/10 off of Andrew, who's now 1 second off of EMP. EMP just dropping back from Raid now. Edgen now 10 seconds off of Jacob. And he is closing that gap quite quickly, so we could see Edgen still picking up a win here. I don't know if Jacob has to make another pit stop. It doesn't look like it at the moment. Because we have that weird edge and splash and dash, maybe for a bit of fuel. Did underfuel in the career race, which cost him the race win. So Edgen still closing in. Jacob onto lap 28. Andrew will want to try and get his podium back, but he's got a long way to go. He's got to get past EMP first and then got to get past Raid. Just got past a lapped traffic. EMP not looking for a podium at the moment. We don't know how this race could end. Could be a collision between Edgen and Jacob. You never know. Or there could be a mistake from the front two. It's a mistake-heavy circuit. But I'm so happy that people actually practice because it's made it so much better in terms of the racing. 3 retirees only from this afternoon's race. And this is what we want to see every weekend. We want to see proper wheel-to-wheel racing. And I think next weekend we go to another brilliant circuit. We head off to the UK as we head to Donington, and that's going to be absolutely brilliant to watch. So 2 tracks we actually raced in ACF1, Donington and Watkins Glen are going to be the next 2 circuits. And we got 3 belters to finish off the year. But, EMP, another back marker getting in the way. I think it's James Wardley again. Surely has to move out of the way of these guys. Is there surely blue flags? I think so. EMP dives down the inside. So does Andrew J. And so does Igor. So EMP now under real pressure from the 2 behind him. Edgen, 4.8 seconds off the lead. It's going to come down to the wire between the race lead. Andrew 6/10 now between himself and EMP, and then Igor is just behind them as well. Raid sitting in third. He's not worried about the people behind him right now. If Andrew can clear EMP, then that is going to make him he's going to at least give him a chance to get back into that third place after a mistake dropped him back into fourth, and Igor also making the same mistake. So it looked like they two collided, but no collision between them. As we said, EMP been struggling for straight line speed all afternoon, and I think it's going to be the same thing here as Andrew pulls to the outside and easily passes the Ferrari of EMP. Now Andrew's got 4.1 seconds to catch and overtake Raid with about 4 laps remaining. Jacob has got edge in his mirrors, and that is not a man you want to be seeing in your mirrors at any point during a Grand Prix weekend. It's been a classic race here so far at Mugello, probably on par with Malaysia in terms of madness. We're going to see some changing around in the grid before the end of the race. So the top 8 will score points, so Scrub will score the final point this afternoon, as Igor's still in the hunt for P4. Andrew hasn't exactly pulled away from EMP here. If he wants that podium, he's going to need to try and pick up the pace to get there. But maybe he's just thinking about P4 at the moment. But in terms of the race lead, oh, Jacob, 1 second now, the gap between the Ferrari driver and himself. And this could be, the pace Edgen is going, this could be an easy pass for the Ferrari man. So we come through turns, turn 7, and then through Arrabbiata of turn 8, and then the Arrabbiata of turn 9. 4/10 now. This is going to be the battle for the race as Igor and EMP battle it out as well, as Igor's got EMP into turn 1. Again, another place done. Scrub's gone wide as well, allowing Stouty's into the pits as well. He disconnects from the server. That is his session over with. So Edgin now closing in on Jacob. We saw a bit of a half move there, but not completely fully. So Scrub into 8th again. Edgin just needs that tiny bit of magic to pull himself back in front. He started this race on pole. He lost it right at the start after a mistake. He's gained back his positions, and now on lap 31, he pulls to the outside. Can he find a way past Jacob into turn 1? Jacob not going to give this up easily. Into turn 1. Edgin stays behind him on this occasion. He can't make the same move into T1, but he pulls to the inside, not there into turn 2, but he doesn't need to. Oh, but they both make a mistake, and Edgens is way more catastrophic. Jacob runs wide, but he's got back onto the circuit. Edge, on the other hand, hits the wall, but he's got a big enough gap to not worry about the guy behind him. But Jacob will be singing in that cockpit, and that has given him a buffer he needs. And maybe the chance for the race lead is gone out of Edgen's hands. Edgen with 4.4 seconds off the lead of the race with 3 laps to go. He may have gained a lot of time previously, but he can't gain that much again, surely. And maybe he's got a bit of damage. He did hit the wall. We're going to have to see if he can do it. But in terms of the battle for third, Andrew has gained a bit of time on Raid. It's gone down to about 3 seconds now. Raid still sitting in P3, so hoping no mistakes from his end. Andrew will want that podium position back. He's led the race comfortably for a while. Made a spin, then made another spin. They dropped him out of the podium. So 3 seconds to go to catch Raid. But Edgen is already back up within that 2-second radius. Jacob has got 3 laps to go. Oh, can they take it? Down in the Jacob camp. He's already run a race this season. He's going to want another one. I think he might have won 2, actually. I think he won in Korea, if I remember correctly. But he's looking for another race win. Can someone remind me if he won in Korea? That someone watching, I think he did. We don't have the result for that race, but Edgen now within 6/10. Once again, Edgen closing the gap on Jacob. 4/10 to go. And this fight for the lead is not over just yet. Lap 32 of 34. It's been a chaotic race of a lot of change of positions. As we head into Arrabbiata, he's not going to make a move into Arrabbiata. He's not that mad. 3/10 now between these two drivers. Everyone has been battling brilliantly this afternoon. We've seen collisions, no safety cars. It's been a clean race in terms of that. There has been incidents. I'm sure there'll be incidents talked about as, oh, he makes a mistake, Jacob, he's gone wide, and it's just allowed Edgin to drive up the inside of him. Edgin takes the lead, and Jacob has dropped down into second, and he doesn't have the pace to gain back on Edgin now. Edgin takes the lead of the Mugello Grand Prix. Jacob, brave defence of P1, comes to an end on lap 32. Edgin leads us on to lap 33. Andrew still has that chance of gaining into third place, but the chances of that are fading fast. He's got 3 seconds to go to catch Raid. Igor's still close enough to cause him a bit of trouble if anything does happen. Raid is closing in on Jacob, but not closing in by enough. 35 seconds is way too big of a margin unless Jacob makes a major mistake. But Edgin, after making that mistake at the start, gaining all those positions back, and then doing it for a second time is exactly what he would have wanted today. One day he'll get a clean race. That day is not today. But at the moment, it looks like he will be winning another race. But this time winning his first race in ACF1. He's not won a race this year. And there's a real chance. But I think it's Andrew's made another mistake. I was paying attention to the other things. Andrew making a mistake, hitting the wall. And oh, such a race that could, what a race it could have been for the debutant as he's dropped down into 7th now, edging on the final lap of the race. And oh, another mistake. I assume it was a mistake. Tell me if I'm wrong, but everyone's making mistakes on that corner this afternoon. It's not just him. Oh, it's not a good experience. Hit grass and entry, it happens. It does happen, and that is such a shame for Andrew for his debut race. But he can be proud of himself considering the pace he had, and I'm sure he'll bring it coming into the next couple of races. So, Edgin, Andrew J. Is that how you want me to say it? Oh, that's how I'm going to say it. Oh yeah, I should probably mention I say names how I read them. So should apologize for that. But anyway, Edgin on the final lap. It's with a J, okay. So Edgin on the final lap of the race. It's not been a comfortable win for the Ferrari driver. But on the last lap of the race, he's just got a few more corners to go. Jacob put up a good fight, but a fight he couldn't put up forever. As he comes round the final corner now to pick up his first victory in ACF1. Edgin crosses the line to win the Mugello Grand Prix. Jacob will finish in 2nd place, followed by Raid at the moment, who will come home in 3rd. Door to door is still challenging. EMP, the race is not over in terms of overtake. Can Door find a way past for P5? It's going to be difficult to find a move here, but he might be able to do it. So your podium finishes will be Edgin, Jacob, and Raid will finally get that podium, which he's waited quite a while for. And Dor pulls to the inside. Can he dive down in the final corner? Oh, it's a brilliant move from Dor. Can he make it complete? And he does. Dor was just left enough room to make that move. And Dor on the final corner of the final lap makes it into P5. EMP into P6. Andrew J will come home to finish P7. A race of what could have been for him this afternoon. Scrub will finish out the final points in P8. But what a race that was. And we've got interviews for the top 3 now. So Raid, Jacob, and Edgin, if they would like interviews. I know Jacob isn't a fan of interviews, so I'm sure Raid and Edgin will be happy to have them. And I might pull in someone else for an interview afterwards. But what a brilliant race that was. So if we'll get in, why don't we get in the race leader first, as he was the first one in the cool down room. Edgin. So your first win in ACF1. once again, had to work hard for it. You didn't make it easy for yourself. Um, Turn one, we saw you go off into the gravel. I assume that was a lockup, or was there a touch of wheels between people in T1? Well, in terms of actual race pace, you had excellent race pace. Making just the one, or did you make two pit stops during that race? Because we saw you have like a really short pit stop, but we thought it was. I can't hear Edgen. Hang on. It's because the bloody audio was off. Right? Can you hear Edgen now? Edgen, say something.
Hello, testing. Yeah, should be fine
Right,
now.
Edgen's fine. It's just a few issues with the whatever. Anyway,
Yeah.
so Edgen, um, yeah, you had good race pace, but you had a sort of weird pit stop about 10 laps to go. Was that a planned pit stop, or did you have to serve something?
Yeah, so I was looking at the hard tires. The hard tires were going away in 15 laps. I estimated that the mediums would be going around in 10 laps. So what I did is I calculated how much fuel it would take me to. I mean, I had a couple moments where I was driving slower on track. That was because I was trying to map out and sort out the pit strategies whilst I was driving. And I calculated it so that I could get just enough fuel to where I can swap the tires and have the same amount of time so that I could do two extra pit stops because the tires were just getting munched on so quick.
Yeah, we saw a lot of we saw mostly a two-stop race from everyone. I think EMP was the only one that did a one-stop. It did
Yeah,
cost
I
him
don't know
something
how
to
he did it.
pace, but he was really struggling down the main straight. So I don't know how you were doing down the back straight, but it seemed to be an issue for a few people.
Yeah, this track definitely ate tires a lot, and you tried to get your downforce up and, and take corners harder, and then that'll eat the tires even more, and that will make you suffer on the straight line speed as well. Because I did actually have struggles with that as well. Could barely overtake people on the straight.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a good race. A lot, well, in terms of what I saw, a lot cleaner than what we had in Korea. I think the whole letting people practice was a really good idea. Um, so we had some really nice racing. So yeah, we go to, as I was saying, we go to Donington next Friday. We raced it in BTCC, but very different in these F1 cars.
Honestly, it's a similar thing. People are really gonna struggle with grip in corners, really gonna struggle with tires, and it's something weird that I've noticed at the very least. These tires kind of go from from like 70% to 50%, it doesn't exist, and then from 50 to 30, you have a little bit more life, and then they just drop off and they're gone.
Yeah, the
So
tires seem to be
yeah,
really struggling for some people. But yeah, thank you, Edgin, for having a chat with us. If you make sure, like, if you want to ask, could you ask Raid and Jacob
cheers,
if they
mate.
want an interview? I'm sure Jacob doesn't want an interview, but Raid might want one.
Yeah, I'll get him in.
All right, thank you. So that is your P1 finisher for the Mugello Grand Prix. We'll see if we can get Raid in here shortly, and if uh, if Jacob doesn't want an interview, I will drag someone else in for a quick interview. And there it is, Raid. So I'll drag him in now. Oh, where is Raid? There we go. So Raid, how you doing?
Hello.
So P2, is that your first podium this year?
Wait, P2?
P2? Was it P3? I can't remember.
I think I'm
P3.
yeah,
It
I
was
think I'm
P3.
P3.
Yeah, P3. So Jacob was P2.
Yeah,
So P3,
yeah.
first podium this season, if I remember correctly.
Indeed, yes.
But how was that race from your perspective? Because you had to really battle for that P3.
I mean, I binned it on the start, but I had a good recovery.
Yeah, well, it seemed
Uh,
like a good race from our perspective to watch, which obviously makes it a lot more enjoyable for everyone. But in terms of race pace, people are saying really struggling with tire wear during that race.
yeah. I mean, I was more struggling in the quali, to be honest, with the with the tires, but my race pace is normally stronger than my quali pace, so I yeah. I don't know. The race went well.
Well, that's good. So you've got Watkins Glen next Friday. Is it Watkins Glen? No, that's not right. It's Donington next Friday. Sorry.
Donington, yeah.
You looking forward to Donington?
Depends on the layout. If it's with the dong, then no.
Well, we'll find out. So thanks, Raid, for having a chat with us.
Yes, no problem.
So we'll see if we can. Is Edgen? Do you know if where is he? Uh, Andrew J is around if you'd like an interview, unless Jacob would like one. Andrew's not available. Okay, would Jacob like one? Okay, well I'll bring in. Why don't I bring on Scrub? Scrub, where are you? Um, Scrub, you've been pulled for an interview if you're here.
Hello.
Hello, Scrub.
Hello.
So let's talk about your race.
Yes.
Well, actually, in terms of battling, you were battling at the front for a while.
Yes.
And then was it a mistake or did you have a collision with someone? Because we didn't really catch it on stream.
Well, I had someone who hadn't yet pitted behind me, or just as I came out of the pits, so I was
Mhm.
trying to hold them off. And they dived past. I don't know who it was. They dived past me in a pretty odd place, and it kind of just threw me off for the rest of the lap. And yeah, I ended up making a mistake into the final long right-hander.
Well, in terms of actual racing, I thought it was a really good race. We had some proper good wheel-to-wheel battles.
Oh yeah, definitely,
A lot cleaner than
absolutely.
career, I thought.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So the other thing I just realized is I don't know if I realized on stream. I think I may have had the audio off the entire time, so there may not be any car audio in that stream. Um, that's fine. That's nothing to worry about. Nothing to worry about there.
It's all right.
But
It's all
anyway,
good.
we go to Donington next Friday,
Yes.
and a circuit that we raced in BTCC had some good racing, and hopefully have some good racing here. But tires will probably be another issue because they were definitely burning out during this race.
Yes, they were. Yeah, obviously very gutted to miss the BTCC race on Wednesday. There's a slight chance I may miss Donington again next week, which is rather upsetting as it is
Outrageous.
my home track. Outrageous. It's my home track, but such is life. But fingers crossed that it's as good as it was today for racing.
Yeah, well, I think if everyone does their practice like they said they would, I think that is the brilliant place. And the fact that we had 16 drivers driving as well was awesome to see.
Yeah, of course.
So yeah, so thank you, Scrub, for joining us for another for an interview.
All right, thank you very much.
Uh,
Cheers.
right, and we will end the stream there. We're just updating you on everything that's happened, everything that's happening the rest of the week. So on Saturday we have Tier 2 for F1 2022, and then on Sunday we have Tier 1 for F1 2022. So please join us for those two streams. I'll be commentating tomorrow as well, so tune in for that. That'll be always fun to watch. And make sure you check out the Discord and the YouTube channel and follow the Twitch and do all of that lovely stuff. And also, yeah, just keep watching. It really helps. So thank you all for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow for F1 2022.